Axel van Christensen. He took a dominant win in Dublin in 2021. He then DNF'd in Turin with illness in his second attempt to defend that title, and then improbably came back to out-sprint Niels Laros last year in Brussels to take his second junior title. Gilbert Lelesso was 6th last year in the under-23 age group, bronze medalist in Dublin behind Van Christensen. And those two would love to put two Danes on the podium again. He's a gold medalist on the track over 5,000 metres. Nick Griggs, a gold medalist over 3,000 metres on the track at European level, but he's yet to win a cross-country title. He's got that silver from Turin, a bronze last year in the junior race. This is his first attempt at the under-23 race, and he is in shape. Nick Griggs, perhaps the most improved in the last 12 months since we were in Brussels. Barnicoat, the surprise winner last year in his first attempt at this age group. He's improved as well, all the way down to 13.19 over 5,000 metres. He's out of sorts at the British trials. He lost to David Stone there when he was dealing with illness. On top of the Turkish entries, the Erguvan is the Balkan youth silver medalist over steeplechase, and he won their selection race here in Antalya. Wonderful silver medal for them just now in the under-23 women's category. These lead entries, if you like, just spreading themselves across the start line, just wanting to try and stay as far away from each other. The two Danes going side by side. What pressure there might be for their third scorer, either Elia Schifris or Gustaf Benson of Denmark, because you'd feel like surely Lelesso and Van Christensen are going to punch into the top 10. But this could certainly be one of the races of the weekend here in Antalya. Oh, there's a faller on the start line, and I think it was Nick Griggs. Nick Griggs went down on the start line. He's right at the back of the pack at the moment. It's such early stages in the race, but that is not how you want to start a European cross-country championships at all.
No, bizarre. You don't see that very often, but thankfully it was right at the start of the race, not in the latter stages. Griggs is just to the left of picture, out of shot. In fact, has made his way through. The French looking very strong in the early stages. That looks like France against Great Britain against Belgium across the front rank there. Crikey. Monteiro of Portugal to the left of picture in that green strip with Santos, his teammate, alongside him. Intendorfer of Austria. Will he give a good account of himself here?
I can't see his number from here, but unfortunately, a couple of people really badly affected at the start of the race. You've picked out this French team, Tim. They've got 5 athletes underneath 14 minutes and 5,000 metres last season on the track. And that, if that doesn't say team gold, I don't know what does. And the French men, they're just running as an absolute pack there. You can see the sea of blue. And the British team, they do love to pick up team titles here as well. They were the victors last time, 9 points ahead of the French. But the French, I think, very, very strong today.
Well, it's a big pack, Hannah. I just get the impression that this is being run at a more aggressive pace in the early stages than the women's under-23 race, which was certainly for a lap, maybe a lap and a half, looked fairly languid. But they are shifting at the front here. Griggs, despite that fall in that Irish green, back in about 8th place at the moment. They're up against the ropes there in the orange shoes. He's moving well. It doesn't seem to have been too detrimental to his race, thank goodness. Yeah, that's the front end car, so I think that is of Poland who's up at the front end.
And you're right, Tim, the race is spread out very, very quickly. I think it's Kasai of Hungary, who's the senior champion over 10,000 metres. He's been running half marathons. And I think that's what you slightly see in this under-23 age group. You wouldn't expect anyone in the under-20 race to be really honing their skills as a half marathoner or a full marathoner. But an athlete like Kasai, I think perhaps if he knows his future is on the roads and in the marathon, he's moved there already. And then you look at a race like this, you say, no messing around. I think perhaps he's targeting a top 5, a top 10, and the Hungarian will say, I'm not going to get that by jogging around. It's only 6 kilometres. It's basically a sprint for me. And Kasai, he looks fine, looks absolutely comfortable, look very competent over those obstacles, whereas the other men, they're weaving in and out, trying to find the best site, trying to find some clear running.
Well, he's run a reasonable half marathon as Gabor Kasai, 65 minutes, close to 14 minutes for 5,000. On the track, he's not any great shakes compared with many of the 21 and last year. Here's a massive talent, is Axel van Christensen. 8:29 for the steeplechase, 13:29 for 5,000. Not super fast, but pretty solid, and 7:52 for 3,000. So he has got the track credentials here. And you know, we know he's strong, Hannah. We know he's got good speed. And when you've got both those qualities and bring it to a cross-country race, as long as you've raced yourself into shape, and it is important to be in race shape, I think, then you can come in with real confidence. There he is in the red vest to the left of picture, Christensen. Starts here as perhaps joint favourites.
I think that's fair. And Christensen, he has said he's had a disrupted build-up, that he's only really been back into training in the last month. I think he struggled with Achilles injuries and other disruptions in the summer. And but Christensen, he trains at an enormously high volume. He's done a lot of kilometres, a lot of training from a young age. That was sort of what him and his training team decided on, and it's brought him great success. And I think so. Christensen's only up to full training in the last month. There's probably still more mileage than everyone else. And he's a fearless racer, Christensen. He doesn't seem to get overawed by occasions, and he certainly won't be intimidated by being at the front of this race. He took a good win at the Danish national champs over Lalesso, his teammate, who then went on to win the Nordic Championship. So there's good form there, good current form from both of the Danish athletes. So I think they're competent and comfortable at the front of the race. But I don't think it's slowed, Tim. I just think there's a lot of these under-23 men that think they've got a claim on a top 8, a top 6 today, and they're all just going for it.
Haven't seen Will Barnicoat yet up at the front there. I don't know if he's tacked. There he is, right in the middle, actually, behind the Polish or the Hungarian vest of Megier, is it? So Barnicoat is up there, yes, in 9th place after 5 minutes of running. Megier of Poland just loping along at the front there. Tall figure in the T-shirt, white T-shirt, one of the few up there in a T-shirt, in fact. The last year, Great Britain took gold ahead of France, with Norway taking the bronze medals, then Spain, Belgium and Germany bringing up 4th, 5th and 6th. But it's going to be a very tall order for Britain to hang on to that gold, I think, in this one today.
Well, David Stone, the athlete who's just gone to the front at the moment, a very unknown quantity. He's been incredibly injured and ill in the last couple of years, and he's shown these flashes of brilliance at a domestic level, medals at the national cross-country behind the likes of Will Barnicoat, and then disappeared again with disruptions and injury. But he won the British trial for this event by a long way. I want to say it was some 20-25 seconds or so ahead of Will Barnicoat. Now, he's untested in this environment, David Stone, but he's going to say we didn't expect to feel this good, to be in such good a shape or off such fractured training. He's been working hard with cross training to supplement his lack of ability to string together lots of running training. So I think he could be someone that could help the British team punch through into a team medal.
I'm just looking at David Stone's CV, Hannah, and he hasn't got any track personal bests.
Because
you know him because he's in Birmingham University, and your husband coaches there.
Well, Dean Miller coaches him, who I'm not married to, for the record. I don't want to confuse people. But no, David Stone, it's injuries, Tim. He is competent on the track. He has got track speed, but it's just those injuries. So he doesn't have... He's got talent, but he hasn't got experience. So, you know, the people in Britain, they wouldn't be surprised to see him win the trial race, and they wouldn't be surprised to see him here at the front. But I think some of the other athletes from other nations won't know his name and they won't know his form. But Will Barnicoat and him are teammates at university, and they're very familiar with running with each other.
Well, a lot more people won't know his name, since his number has now dropped down and it's not visible. That's not going to help. But I suppose if he's the only athlete like that in a British vest, then that narrows it down a little bit. Maggi of Italy looking strong at the moment too, and just checking his credentials. Congiona Maggi is a 29.5-minute 10,000 metre runner. Won the under-23 trials for the Italians in Trieste just recently. 14.05 for 5,000, so big step up for him here to be at the front end of a race like this. He's only 20, one of the younger men in the race, the Italian there in the all blue.
Herzik as well of Poland running well. It feels like the Polish squad here is the Polish steeplechase squad. They've all been very high up in age groups in the steeplechase races. The likes of Herzik, Mergier, Bojorski and Antosh, we have got 2 Polish vests up there, and I really agree with 3 to score in this championships for the team element. And how often do you see 2 people up there? We've got 2 Danes up there, we've got 2 Poles, loads of French, we've got 2 Brits up there as well. It's all about that third scorer, I think, if you're not French. I think if the French are going to walk away with this at the moment, nearly the whole squad here in the top 15.
Luc Le Baron to the left there is an interesting athlete for France. He's just tucked in behind Maggie of Italy. He's an 8:15 steeplechaser. Now that is classy steeplechasing, and that may be significant. There he is to the left of picture, Le Baron. I shall be watching him very carefully. 12th in the Allon cross country, just to sharpen up for this one. Like the Spanish, the French have a circuit of top quality cross country races they can compete in to prepare for events like this. They don't have to travel far. It's funny, he's a 3:38 1500 metre runner. He's a great steeplechaser, but he's not run a decent 5 or 10 yet. So a few little gaps in the CV of Luc Le Baron of France. But watch him, he's to the left of that group at the moment there in that French strip with the pink lines down the shorts.
I think I see that trend in the French athletes. They often move quite slowly and considered through the distances and through the age groups. They really take put a lot of emphasis on this under 23 age group, whether it's on the track or on the cross country, and really try and master that before looking up to the 10Ks and the longer distances. But the French leading the team standings at the moment. I think they were just on 17 points ahead of Great Britain. They were in 2nd place in the silver medal position at the moment. Ireland at the moment in 3rd, but look at all the arging and barging. That's one of the tightest corners on the course there, and you can see that coming out with everybody giving each other a tap on the back.
Argy bargy, and it's arging and barging. I've never heard that phrase before. That must be a Midlands phrase.
Past, I know.
There's about 25 in this lead pack at the moment, but they are shifting. 10 minutes on the clock, and on lap 2 of 4. In fact, they're just entering the 3rd lap now. Yeah, France leading, Ireland 4th, Austria 5th, Spain 6th, Poland, Portugal, Belgium, Italy. France looking really strong though, with a couple of laps to go, as Maggie, who is not expected to really feature here, just drives up that slope. Griggs up in 3rd place now, his number coming off as well. A few more pins were needed today, I think.
And the other athletes seem to be taking this move for Maggie seriously. We're past the halfway in the race, and for whatever reason, they're not just letting Maggie go. They don't think this is a feint. They don't think this is an unsustainable move for Maggie. They're definitely using this to ignite the race. We've lost I haven't seen Axel van Christensen for a while. I can see Lelesso there. I can't see his teammate. There he is. He is still involved slightly, Christensen there, just behind the Spanish vest, but I think we need to see Axel van Christensen make the break into that top group, because Maggie's just starting to stretch them away. Italy haven't been on the podium for a while, really. Yomani Burhan Crippa picked up a bronze when the French were really dominant, sort of 2017-18, that period. But the Italian men haven't been back on the podium in this under-23 men's race for a while, and Maggie, it looks good.
Well, he does look good. Isn't it funny how athletes can develop so quickly in these earlier years, up to 20, 22, 23, you're still getting good significant development every year, and after that, well, you're deep in the senior ranks and you're expected to be pretty solid. But yeah, the way this is unfolding at the moment, it looks like it could be a fairly close race. Last year, Will Barnicoat winning on a dip from Valentin Bresque of France, with Matt Stonia, 352 miler for Great Britain, coming through for the bronze medal. Barnicoat's pulled that number off completely now. It's probably annoying him.
Well, that's what we're going to have to watch here with the team standings and any graphics we're getting. If David Stone doesn't have his timing chip there, I'm unsure. Sometimes they have ankle transponders. Sometimes it's down the front of on their vest. So we're going to have to keep an eye, because I think we might lose David Stone. And we'll turn back up again in the official results, but that could affect things. We'll try and keep an eye on that. Will Barnicoat, the athlete trying to bridge the gap back to Maggie at the moment. I think some of the other athletes will be content, particularly Nick Griggs after that early fall. They'll be happy if Barnicoat's the one doing that work to close the gap. I think for me, Nick Griggs is a great runner. He's so talented. He knows how to win races. But on these big occasions, he just loves pulling on the Irish vest and giving it his best. And sometimes I feel like he kicks too early, or it's all heart and there's less sort of poise behind it. So I was heartbroken to see Nick Griggs have that fall so early on, but I'm kind of enjoying seeing him just sitting in there and having a calm race after that bad start.
Well, Great Britain leading the team race now. They've taken over from France. It's David Stone, of course, who's the athlete without a number there. I think I said it was Barnicoat. Barnicoat there, centre of picture, moving well. Slight grimace on his face there, but it's a beautiful sunny day now. I cannot believe this. We got here on Friday. It wasn't very nice. Yesterday it was raining for much of the day and thunderstorms overnight, but this is quite glorious. Look at that scene, the Swiss flag held high and proud there. How are the Swiss going in this one? Can't see anybody up there in the top 10 or 15 for Switzerland at the moment.
Good effort from Le Baron here to close the gap. Now, Joel Ilolelesso, the Danish man, apologies, he's in about 6th place at the moment. Last year, I watched the race back, I very much felt like he missed the break. He was finishing very, very quickly. It was almost like a panic for him at this stage last year when he realised he had more in the tank. And I'd love to see Lelesso get on the coattails of that top 5, because the Frenchman's done it. The Frenchman is back involved in this as they've got 1 lap left to go. If we just add the Dane and the pole, what a last lap this could be. But those top 5, they're really going to get going now. We're going to start seeing race-winning moves, or people trying to command this race.
Well, no wonder the gaps have opened up, Hannah. That third lap was quicker still. The second lap was 4:32. That one 4:28. They really have cranked it up. And Barnicoat now asking the questions. Maggie performing way above what was expected of him. Griggs in 3rd. David Stone in 4th. But it's been whittled down to just 7 or 8 athletes now. And Barnicoat's got the bit between his teeth and is striding out really strong. That's a lovely shot of him driving up that hill. Denmark, Ireland, Spain, Poland, Austria, Great Britain and France having a real tussle in the team race here. I think it's going to be very, very tight indeed. Every place is precious through this final lap and as they cross the line.
Oh, what is going through the minds of these men? How many times have Will Barnicoat and Nick Griggs been fighting it out for European age group medals on the track, on the cross country? Barnicoat will be so aware that Nick Griggs is right there. Griggs is a better 1500 metre runner than Barnicoat. He's faster over 3K, he's faster over 5K. But Barnicoat, time and time again, he turns up to these European Championships and he finds a way to win. Barnicoat, he's the man that's kind of gone first. We had Maggie doing a move on the previous lap, but Barnicoat's the one that's really putting himself out there to be shot at, to be attacked. This isn't the same tactics we've seen from the British man in the previous 2 championships. He is laying it all out there. Lelesso, he's desperately trying to stay in contact here with the medals. David Stone and Maggie, you feel like they're just behind Griggs and Barnicoat here, but what do we reckon, Tim? A kilometre left to go, slightly less, but all the traffic and all the action, all the obstacles is coming now. They navigate the logs just fine. They've got the hurdles, a small hill, some more logs before that finishing straight.
Well, Barnicoat's doing the right thing, I think, here. He's had an incredible year already. He's improved this year from 13:45 at 5,000 to 13:19. He's also got great 1,500 metre speed, but Griggs, well, he's the classy athlete of the 2 on the track, a little bit more classy, 7:36 for 3,000 metres, and he runs with real confidence. Got lovely balance as Griggs there to the left of picture. These 3 beginning to ease away now. This is going to be a dust-up for the ages. Barnicoat looking here, Hannah, for his 3rd consecutive individual gold at the European Cross Country Championships.
And David Stone looked like he was trying to have a bit of a nibble here, and Barnicoat and David Stone, they're teammates, they train together, they live 100 metres apart from each other, they know each other so well, so they'll be testing each other out. And I'd almost like the 2 British men to wait and let Nick Griggs have a go as well, because they could be running the sting out of each other, and if the Irishman is within sniffing distance at all of the win, all that track speed could come into the fore.
Well, David Stone is giving it all here. He's stretching them. He's decided not to leave it to chance. Up onto the sand for the final time here. Always awkward that you're trying to drive through the sand. If you've ever tried running up a sand dune, you know what it's like. But the 2 Brits here testing Griggs to the max.
And it is Will Barnicoat and David Stone trying to pull away from Nick Griggs. They're going to go over this little hurdle here, and that will be the home straight. We saw Phoebe Anderson with a phenomenal finishing straight from this point where Nick Griggs was. She came through for the gold medal. But Will Barnicoat, he's been in close sprints the last couple of years. Nick Griggs faltered in Turin and gave away the gold medal to Will Barnicoat in the junior age group. And then Brest couldn't quite catch Barnicoat in Brussels. But here goes Nick Griggs Griggs trying to become the first ever Irishman to win a European cross-country title. Is Will Barnicoat going to deny him again? The Brit looks exhausted. Will Barnicoat looks over his shoulder. He knows the danger's there. He's still got around about 20 or 30 metres left to go. Can Barnicoat do it again? It's Will Barnicoat for Great Britain and Northern Ireland with a third consecutive title. He denies Nick Griggs again. And David Stone comes through for a bronze medal. What a run again from Will Barnicoat, timing that finish to perfection, and Griggs will have to wait for another year to get that gold medal. And David Stone, a man who has been through so many disappointments, so many illnesses, so many injuries, he gets himself a wonderful bronze medal.
Brilliant running. Griggs tried everything there, dealt with one of the Brits. What a run from Atamanyuk. Andrei Atamanyuk of Ukraine there. Fabulous from him. Ukrainian champion at 5,000 last year. That is unprecedented. It really is superb from him to take fourth place just outside the medals. On the team race, well, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Great Britain against France. It was always going to be very tight, but Will Barnicoat, well, retains his title. The Aldershot Farnham and District Club athlete, coached by Tim Eglin. What a run he's had here today. And that is what scene I love to see. An athlete who's given absolutely 101%. And Hannah, I don't know about you, but I used to race against guys who I thought were immortal. They were like gods. They would finish races and they'd be strolling around looking like they'd had a walk in the park. I love to see people looking exhausted, because that's how I felt at the end of my races.
And just to remember, Nick Griggs started the race on the floor. I think it's easy to forget that because he looked relaxed, he looked competent, and that will have taken something out of the Irishman. And he's got to feel like he's cursed, and Will Barnicoat's got a lucky penny in his shoe. I mean, first it was Turin when he caught his spike with sort of 40 metres to go and Barnicoat came through. And this time he's got to sit on the floor, watch the field sprint away and get up and get back involved. So, and that just shows sort of the calibre of athlete Nick Griggs is mentally and physically, that he didn't let that affect him, and he came through for that silver medal.
Brilliant from David Stone too to get amongst the medals. If you can't win, make sure you get a medal. Lovely to see. And of course the team result is the one we're waiting for. It does mean it's the fourth consecutive win by a British athlete in the European Cross-Country Championships under-23 men's race. Jimmy Gressier taking a trio of titles from 2017 to 2019. Well, Maggie giving a better account of himself than was expected, I have to say. He finished up in 6th place eventually, the Italian. What a run, though, that was from Barnicoat. Will Barnicoat is one thing to be announced as favourite and to come into a race as favourite. It's quite another to deliver, but this young lad gets it right again and again and again. And I think he's eligible for this race next year. He's only 21.
He certainly is. He could do a Gressier, get a hat-trick. But what I love about, here we go, is the team result. Was it Great Britain and Northern Ireland do take the team title with 17 points ahead of France with 24. And Denmark, brilliant bronze medal for the Danes. Joel Lelesso, their top finisher, in 7th, Christensen 17th, and Shadow Fist came through in 18th. That's brilliant for them to get themselves on the podium. Confirmed result for the under-23 men, a 3rd consecutive title for Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and Will Barnicoat 1 second ahead of Nick Griggs, the same distance as they had in Turin in the junior age groups a couple of years ago. David Stone, he hasn't had a full season since 2019, and he has somehow put together enough training to get himself into the bronze medal position here, and it is a 3rd scorer for Great Britain from the University of Birmingham, Brett Rushman, who gave them 13 points to add to the other two guys, 17 their overall point score to take the gold team medal.